And so our longevity isn't just living longer. We all know, or we've seen loved ones who have lived longer but haven't had the quality of life they maybe deserved or they maybe wanted to have. So that idea of longevity then adds in the health span, continuing to do the activities you want to do, continuing to be around your loved ones, being able to advocate for yourself. All of that is included in your health span. So longevity is your lifespan and health span, and we're going to bring them together. I'm Jessica Vallant. I'm a physical therapist, women's health expert, and Pilates teacher, and my goal is to help all women feel strong, safe, and secure in their bodies. In this podcast, I'll share expert advice, facts, amazing guests, stories, compassion, and hope to help you meet your body in all seasons of life. Hi, and welcome back to Meet Your Body. Thanks for stopping by today. The day we are talking about longevity. This is a word that has been around for a really long time, but I feel like even being in healthcare for 25 years, we haven't used that word a lot until the past year. Somehow in the past year, this word longevity has entered the lexicon of all of us. Like, it is everywhere in health and wellness. It is trending all over the place. And so I really wanted to have some space where we talk about longevity, what it means, what it is, and how you can achieve it. But like truly achieve longevity in your life in a way that makes sense for you, in a way that's doable, in a way that won't break the bank, and in a way that won't overwhelm you. So we're going to talk about those things in that context of longevity today. And before I get into all that, I want to make sure that you know about a special longevity program that I have that starts May 4th, 2026. So this idea of longevity, and again, what I have seen happening where it is trending everywhere and it is getting really overwhelming and it's getting really complicated, it's hard for me because I want to remind people it is about the basics. We can find longevity for ourselves and work towards longevity by focusing on these few different categories at home in your busy life. And so that's what my 4-week program will do. It's going to help show you that. You're going to get 4 weeks of home workouts that you do at home or traveling wherever you are. It fits with your busy schedule. You get beginner versions and options and advanced options, so it's appropriate for anyone. So we'll have daily workouts. Then we're also going to work on a couple other big categories when it comes to longevity. We're going to have recipes and a recipe guide, and they are being reviewed by our nutritionist who works with our team and Unlimited. And we're focusing on fiber and protein. Easy recipes. Because if you know me, I don't do complicated when it comes to cooking. Like, that's just not a part of my life. These are really simple things you can incorporate at home to focus on the fiber you need daily and protein you need daily. We're going to talk about walking, how you can incorporate that and how it helps, and then some nervous system techniques to help regulate your nervous system. And we're doing all of that in a really positive environment with support, with the resources you need. So again, you can take this and apply it to your own life. And then you can know that you're making the steps you need towards your own longevity. So again, it's a 4-week program. We start May 4th. Signups are open right now, and you will get access for a full 5 weeks. So if you get a little bit behind, no big deal. You're going to have a full week to make it up. You do not have to follow along live. So you go at your own pace and speed throughout this whole program. You will have access to me. I'm doing live sessions. I'll be answering questions throughout. And then if you want to keep going after, you can jump right into my Unlimited community and app where we just keep going, right? Like, we just keep putting those deposits in our health bank account. So I'm going to have the link to sign up below to that, my 4-week longevity program. I would love to have you there. And again, we're going to take in all the things we talk about today and we're going to put them into practice. So let's talk about what longevity is, because again, that word is everywhere right now. I mean, there are books written about it, there are longevity experts, and I'm saying that kind of in air quotes a little bit, people who call themselves longevity experts. There's podcasts, everyone is talking about it. Let's talk about what it actually means. Longevity refers to a long duration of life or the ability to live longer than the average life expectancy, right? So that's your lifespan. It encompasses an extended lifespan, living longer. Plus, all right, it doesn't end there. This is the key. Plus, an improved health span. Your health span is the quality of that life, living healthier, free from disease, living with independence, with function, with vitality, with energy, right? And so our longevity isn't just living longer. We all want that peace. But we all know or we've seen loved ones who have lived longer but haven't had the quality of life they maybe deserved or they maybe wanted to have. So that idea of longevity then adds in the health span. So the quality of your life, vitality, energy, independence, strength, continuing to do the activities you want to do, continuing to be around your loved ones, being able to advocate for yourself. All of that is included in your health span. So longevity is your lifespan and health span, and we're going to bring them together. So with the idea of it trending, it has become really complicated to know what actually helps our longevity because, like I said at the beginning, this is something we've all kind of been aware of. I mean, probably our whole lives. Yeah, I want to live longer. And yeah, I would like to feel good in those years that I am living. I bet all of you are like nodding along saying, yes, yes, please. That's what I would like. And we were given, or we have been given generally, the tools to do that. Okay, I need to work out. I need to eat well. I need to get some sunshine. I need to get some sleep. I need to be in community with people. We've kind of been given these general ideas of what makes a good and healthy life. But because this idea of longevity is trending, we have all of these extra strategies that we are being told can help. We are being told ways we can biohack our way to longevity. And those include so many different things, but just a few ideas of what's being included right now when I personally see things that are going to help my longevity. Right. So I see supplement upon supplement upon supplement. Like you need to take this and you need to take this and take this at night and take this in the morning. Like so many things to help. I see courses that I can take, like to help with my brain health, to help with short term memory, long term memory. I see things about all the puzzles and the games I should be playing and adding on. I see these extra ingredients I need to be having more of. So instead of just focusing on fiber and protein, I'm being told, okay, I definitely need extra ginseng. I definitely need extra turmeric. I definitely need extra all of the things, right? And then we have all the green juices that we can have. And then we have all of the health testing that we can do. And don't worry, I'm going to get into health testing. It is actually a really important, vital piece of longevity. I am talking about kind of these extra full body scans that are really trending right now that you can pay hundreds up to thousands of dollars for that give you a ton of information, promised information about how long you can expect to live, about your possibility of getting certain diseases. They're doing full health, body scans for any indication of disease. There's a lot of those out there you can choose from. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Now, I want to say some of those can probably be very helpful. I am not throwing them all in the trash by any means. I think there are many that could have some benefits. The thing that happens though, when something starts trending, we get really excited about it because we feel like, gosh, I need to do that thing. Like, yes, I want longevity. I haven't necessarily been consistent with my workouts and with drinking water and with the foundational pieces. And yeah, I'm super burned out. So I don't really have time to work out. I don't have time to do all that. But you're telling me that I can take those two supplements and that'll do it. Then yes, done. Check me off. I'm good to go. So that's one thing that happens is we jump into this idea and this thought that one or two things are going to fix everything. Okay, we want that quick fix. The other thing that happens with all this extra information is we get overwhelmed by it. And I have an entire podcast episode about how we're overwhelmed with health information right now. It is so good that it's at our fingertips. Like, it's fantastic. And also, it makes it hard to wade through what really is valuable, what really will help. Like, you're probably sitting there asking yourself, what do I actually need to be doing? Like, how much of this is really valuable? And sometimes when there's so much information and we don't know how to wade through it, we just put it all to the side and we don't do anything. So I really want to remind you and give you the foundation of what you need for longevity. And then once you have the foundation built, and that is a part of your lifelong habits moving forward, then you can add some of these extra pieces to it if it feels right to you, right? Like, you can add any of these extra kind of things that your neighbor tells you about that sounds really great, or you have all of your basic testing and finances aren't an issue for you. You have your workouts under control and you're drinking your water and doing the stuff. And then you want to add those extra tests, by all means, go for it. I want to make sure that you know, though, that you don't need those things for longevity. The research tells us we don't need that. The research is really clear about what we do need. And that is what we're going to cover today. Okay. So again, if you have some of those extras you want to throw on, or you're saying, yeah, those things have helped me a lot, great. Keep doing them. I will support you all the way. I, as always, want to make sure that you actually have the information you need, that you can make the choices that are right for you in any given season of life, wherever you happen to be, and that we can make this doable, that it's actionable, that you can say, I can do, like, that's something I can approach. I want to make it an invitation that you feel like you can walk through the door and start for yourself right now. All right. So let's talk about the steps that you want to take and the things you need to add in order to achieve that longevity, that longer lifespan, and also that higher quality of life during that lifespan. So lifespan and health span, we want both. Okay, so think of these things as the pillars. Again, we are building a foundation, and these are the pillars. Like, these are the things that will stay with you the rest of your life. These are the biggest needle movers. Like, these are the things that really make a difference. And these are the things that are just constantly told to us over and over again. And so sometimes we tend to tune it out. But the problem is they actually really work. Like, these are the foundational pillars we need. So don't take this with an eye roll. Don't take it as, oh my gosh, she's just saying the same things. I am saying a little bit of the same things, but it's because they're the things that make the difference. Like, they truly, truly do. So I bet you know, probably, the number one thing I'm going to tell you, and this isn't in any specific order, I'm just jumping into this one first. You have to work out and move your body. Daily movement. And we have so many podcast resources on what that looks like. And I'll have some of the links for you to that below too. But like, I'm not going to jump in today about what exactly the workout schedule looks like. You can go back and listen to some previous podcasts about that, meaning when you do cardio, when you lift weights, those kind of things. I am just here to tell you today, as a part of this podcast episode, you need to be moving your body every single day. Like, that has to be a part of your foundation. It has to be a pillar. And a lot of times I will reframe it that way. Instead of saying, I want you to work out every day, I say, I want you to move your body every day. Because sometimes we do have kind of this we have blinders on around the word workout, or almost it's a little trigger of, oh my gosh, I'm in pain today, or I have chronic disease, or I have this. Like, there are reasons I can't work out. I get it. Absolutely. If you know me and my health history, I have been there. That's why for me, reframing it as movement has really helped. Because when I do have an injury, or I feel like, I'm back to the beginning and I can't work out today, instead I think, well, I can move though. I can move. I can do whatever it is I can do that day. Sometimes it's going out for a walk. Sometimes it's getting down on my mat and doing mobility work. Sometimes it's going back to my physical therapy exercises. Whatever it is, you need to move your body every day. And yes, there is an ideal kind of schedule to that, meaning I want you to be lifting weights 2 to 3 times a week. I want you to be doing your mobility and your balance work. I want you to be doing some Pilates. And I have this all laid out in my 4-week longevity program in May. Like, this is given to you daily, so you can just check the box and you're good to go on it. But just keep that in mind. Movement has to be a habit. And if you are if you're listening to this saying, okay, I get it, but I'm only really moving about 2 days a week right now, I want you to realize that that is a habit. All right. You are building something. That's not nothing. So the next question to ask is, how do you get to 3 days a week? You do not ask yourself, how do I jump from 2 days a week to 7 days a week? Because that won't happen. That's overwhelming to your brain. That's actually not how our brains work. It is overwhelming. You might be able to do it for a week or two, and then you'll go right back off. Instead, you turn the volume up slowly. You add one more day. You get to 3 days a week, and you do that for a little while until your body sees that as the new normal. Then you add another day, and you do that for a while till your body sees that as the new normal. All right. We're playing the long game. That's what we're doing here. So get to moving your body every single day. And again, if you're wondering after this podcast, if you're wondering, what does that look like exactly? Listen to my episode. I'll have it linked below about creating a workout schedule for yourself. That's really helpful. All right. So that is kind of your movement. Then I'm going to list this next one, and I'm going to talk about how they go together. The next one is walking. And I do purposely list them separately, even though, yes, walking is a part of movement, granted. Okay. But walking really is its own separate category for the benefits that it has. So it might be, again, depending on your phase of life, it might be that walking is your daily movement. I don't want it to be your only daily movement forever, though, because again, you need to be lifting weights, you need mobility. There's a lot of other things you actually do need for true longevity. You need balance, okay? You need strength so you can get on and off the floor. Research shows that you have longer longevity if you can balance on one leg. Both legs, right? One and then the other. We have longer longevity, we have better longevity. That's the accurate word. You achieve longevity, a better chance at longevity if you can balance, if you can squat, if you can squat. So you need to be doing those things too. But then walking has its own big category of benefits. Not only is it movement, it is getting you outside. It is getting you fresh air. It's getting you sunshine, even if you live in a cloudy place. You were out there getting it. It's coming through the clouds. You're looking far away. There's huge benefits like to our society that is constantly looking close up at TVs and screens and books and computers. All the things we do close up, there's so many benefits to just looking out in the distance. Walking does that. Walking helps your function. It gets your steps in, all the benefits that we talk about with that. There's no specific number you need. I just want you out walking. When you start to become sedentary, especially as we age, it is like a snowball that keeps going faster and faster. An object in motion stays in motion, and an object at rest tends to stay at rest, and it becomes harder for an outside force to get us to move. So you might be doing that half-hour workout, right, from Unlimited or from YouTube or whatever it is. You might be doing that half-hour workout. But if you find that your walking has become less and less and less, that will affect your longevity because it means you're less confident leaving the house. You're less confident going out and doing errands. You're less confident going to see your friends. You might start to lose balance. And so you don't want to go into situations that you're unsure about. All of those things affect our longevity. So not only do I want you moving your body and doing kind of those scheduled workouts that we talked about, but I want you walking. And if walking isn't a normal habit for you, the best way to start is to walk for 10 minutes after a meal. It has a huge effect on your blood sugar. Actually, it helps you regulate your blood sugar. So you're kind of just double dipping, like it's a big bang for your buck. Go out and walk for 10 minutes after you eat. Gentle walk outside 10 minutes after you eat. Not only are you getting the benefits of the walking itself, but you are also really helping that blood sugar regulation. You're helping your metabolic health as a whole, right? So those are the first two habits, first two pillars. You're moving every single day, which will include that scheduled kind of planned workout that you need to really help with bone health, muscle mass, all of those things. Helps huge with brain function. And then you're also walking. So we have more pillars that we are going to get into and dive into. But first, a quick word from our sponsors who help make this podcast possible. We are talking about bras again because I feel like we just need to help each other out in this area. And when I find something that I love, you know I'm going to tell you about it. So I have basically lived in bralettes and built-in tanks and sports bras for the past 15 years. I have always wanted to find a bra that not only is super comfortable and works with my busy and active life, but also feels feminine and sexy. And honestly, I had just given up in that realm. Enter Honey Love in their crossover bra. So I have been using this for the past month, and you guys, it feels like magic. It is super smooth material, so it fits under any shirt that I wear. You can't see it whatsoever. And yet it actually lifts and supports at this point in my life. Having something that lifts is really amazing. It is beautiful. It is feminine. It makes me feel sexy. And yet I can wear it all day long in my super busy life, from kiddo errands and volleyball games and soccer games and my sweatshirts, everything that I wear, it works. Not only that, but they offer shapewear, which actually I have had to use in the past for recovery from surgeries. And I know how hard it is to find shapewear that is comfortable. Honey Love will serve you in both areas. Honey Love is independent and woman owned, which is huge. And all of their bras, no wire. You guys, that's awesome. How do you find something that lifts and is comfortable with no wire? Honey Love has done it. So treat yourselves to the most advanced bras and shapewear on the market. Use our exclusive link to save 20% off Honeylove at honeylove.com/meetyourbody. That's honeylove.com/meetyourbody. After you check out, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Experience the new standard in comfort and support with Honeylove. You guys know I love being outside, and now it is springtime in Colorado, and we have somehow had the least amount of snow we have ever had for a winter. While I love the sun, we are also under a lot of fire danger right now. So between that and then all the springtime blooms happening, and then the germs that the kids bring home from school, we are very aware of our air quality, especially in our house. We recently got an Air Doctor air purifier, and I love having it. Air Doctor is the best of the best when it comes to air purifiers. It eliminates 99.99% of dangerous contaminants like allergens, viruses, smoke, gases, mold spores, and more. So basically, if you live anywhere with pollution, smog, wildfire smoke, or those kiddo germs, you should invest in an air purifier, even if you cook inside regularly. Like the amount of smells that come out of my kitchen when I'm cooking, the air purifier takes care of it. It was even voted best air purifier by Newsweek. So it's no surprise that 98% of Air Doctor customers agree their home's air feels cleaner, safer, and healthier. Head to airdoctorpro.com and use promo code MEETYOURBODY to get up to $300 off today. Air Doctor comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee plus a 3-year warranty. That's an $84 value free. Get this exclusive podcast-only offer now at airdoctorpro.com. That's airdoctorpro.com using promo code MEETYOURBODY. Now back to our show. Okay, so we are back talking about the pillars for longevity. We've talked about workouts, moving your body, and walking. Next, we're going to talk about eating, but there's a couple things I'm going to focus on here: fiber and protein. And yes, we can talk about overall macros. You can talk about getting a variety of fruits and vegetables. That is all really important. As women, especially, I mean, all of us in the US and women especially, we do not get enough fiber. Fiber is key for our digestive system. It's key to keeping us regular because constipation actually is a really big problem as we get older. Fiber can be found in all of those fruits and vegetables we talked about. So typically, if you're getting enough fiber from whole foods, you're going to be hitting those big groups of whole grains, fruits, veggies, those foods that are good for us. So I want you to think about hitting fiber. And then I want you to think about hitting protein. I know that's another new thing we're all talking about, but it is key for helping your muscle growth and your muscle mass. So instead of making eating really complicated, right? What we talked about kind of earlier in the podcast of, okay, I have to make sure I have this ingredient and this one and this one and this one, and I have to have a variety throughout the week. Yes, that's important. I find for myself, as someone who's really busy and doing all the cooking for our family, it can feel overwhelming to just think I need to get more and more and more ingredients. I need to shop every day for the freshest things. That's a lot for me to take on. So when I can focus on these two big categories, fiber and protein, and getting them from whole foods, so not just a fiber supplement, but I am getting them from whole foods, then it's taken some of the complication out of it. It allows me to just have two big check boxes I can work on throughout the day. And I tend to get a good variety of foods within that because, again, they are hitting those categories. So that is something that can be really helpful to think about when you're thinking about trying to eat for longevity. For right now, to kind of, again, decomplicate it and not make it so overwhelming, start with, are you getting enough fiber and enough protein daily? And if you aren't, work on those categories before you just start adding more and more and more supplements to it. All right? Okay. Next is access to healthcare and preventative screenings. This is one that isn't always hit on. And I understand why. We typically tend to think of things that we can take into our own hands and do on our own. There are some things when it comes to longevity. There are benefits to having preventative screenings done. And I would be remiss if I didn't touch on that and also didn't talk about the importance of access to healthcare. It does make a difference when it comes to longevity, and it is up to you how you use that. But as a basis, again, if we're just talking about that pillar and that foundation, as we age, I highly recommend that you have at least one healthcare professional on your team who you're comfortable with. That once a year you're seeing maybe a PCP, your primary care physician, you're seeing possibly another doctor who you really trust, just someone who you're checking in with who can do the basic testing to make sure that you are staying in that nice, healthy baseline place. In addition to that, are you getting your mammograms done? Are you getting your colonoscopies done? Are you having your skincare checks? I come at this not only as a healthcare professional, but as someone who a mammogram saved her life, most likely. I had no symptoms. I had absolutely no lumps. I have absolutely no health history. I was just there for my annual mammogram period, and they caught breast cancer. I don't know what would have happened without it. I am not telling you either way, one way or another. I just know that screenings can play an important piece in longevity. So just keep that as a pillar. Again, you're going to use it however you see fit and makes the most sense in your life, but don't put it to the side or ignore it. Having access to healthcare is definitely a privilege, and having access to preventative screenings is something that we should take advantage of. All right, next is community. This one too tends to not get talked about as much, but we have so much research that proves the importance of community, of being social, of feeling a sense of belonging, and having connection as we age. It is vital to longevity that you have a piece of that. We know loneliness is an epidemic, and it truly is affecting people's health, and it can really, really get a little worse as we age. I have seen people, I've worked with aging people. I have been a caretaker for aging people, and I have seen what happens when we lose connection to people around us in various ways, either because literally we're kind of isolated. It might be because of hearing loss, and that's a big one. If you can't hear a conversation that's going on, you tend to separate yourself from it. If you do get sick, if you get a disease, that can separate you. So putting effort into that pillar is really important. And this one too, I don't think you need to get overwhelmed in, oh my gosh, I need to belong to every single club out there. I need to go to every single card game. I need to go every single walk I'm invited on. You don't. But do you have one or two people that you reach out to and talk to regularly, who know you, who you can speak to, who you feel like you're in community with? Do you have church groups, neighborhood groups, a hiking group, a family group, mom group that you just talk to regularly? Like our kids are school age. We have activities galore. And I am not best friends with every parent that our kids are in activities with. I don't have many of their phone numbers. But I really do make a habit of when we go to practices, when we go to games, that I am saying, hey, how's it going? How did so and so do in school this week? Or, oh my gosh, did you see tryouts for next week? How do you feel about that? Like just having a little conversation, as much as sometimes I want to sit in my car and be quiet and be separate, I know that those little touch points, I leave feeling better. I leave being reminded that real life happens in real life. It doesn't happen on social media. It doesn't happen in DMs. It doesn't happen online. It happens in real life with who I am looking at in that moment, in the eyeballs. Who am I talking to? I don't put pressure on myself to make it deeper than that. I have my few really, really, really close friends that I'm extremely grateful for that make up the core of my community, both for myself and for our family. But then knowing I am a part of these other micro communities and just making sure I am doing my part to stay connected, to stay open, to stay receptive is huge. I feel it. Like I feel how important that is to my health. So make sure that you are keeping the ones that work for you in your life, that you're putting yourself out there a little bit, and that you are staying in community, that you are putting some effort into that pillar, because it's really easy to let that pillar go. And I just really encourage you to remember that it is an important pillar for our longevity. All right, next is sleep. Oh gosh, I know this one's hard. And this, of all of these, believe it or not, this is the one that gets dropped the most by me, not by choice, just because of life. And I have worked so much over the past few years to work on sleep, like so much, and figure out my habits and really, really focus on sleep. So that when I don't get it, I actually feel really stressed. It's almost like it's a double hit on my health because I don't get sleep, but then I feel really stressed about not getting sleep. So I want you to realize, don't get stressed if you're not getting sleep, especially if you wake up during the middle of the night or you're in perimenopause and things are happening. If you have a newborn, that's a season of life. And that's what I realize too right now with the kids, the ages they are, just with activities and work. I mean, just various things. Sometimes sleep is going to be for me 6 hours, which is not ideal. I don't like that at all. I want more, but occasionally it is. So instead, what I think about is, how is that quality of sleep? Because that's what I really worked on over the past few years. What's my quality of sleep? Can I get back to sleep quickly? Can I stay asleep? Can I turn my mind off? Those kind of things. So I am encouraging here to remember the importance of sleep. Like, sleep is vital to our health. We know this. So if you haven't put time into some strategies or figuring out your own sleep hygiene, it's time to do that. Okay. Before jumping into all the things we talked about at the beginning, all the trending things, before jumping into that, can you just take some time to focus on sleep? I'll have a podcast linked below too with some sleep strategies. That's an important one. And if you are like me, that you can't always get a long length of sleep, so you can't always get a lot of sleep when it comes to time, maybe instead you can focus on the quality of sleep, because there's also a lot of value to that. Sleep. Put importance on sleep and rest. All right, so let me review what we've covered. We've covered workouts, both your scheduled workouts, right, like daily, and walking, both, the importance of both. We've talked about getting fiber and protein. We've talked about doing your preventative screening, having access to healthcare. We've talked about being in community with people. We have talked about getting sleep. And then your last pillar that we're going to talk about today is actually the one that brings all of these together. It is your nervous system. You have to work on nourishing your nervous system. You cannot out diet, out exercise, out supplement, out sleep, and out community a fried and frazzled and dysregulated nervous system. You cannot live in burnout and you cannot live in chronic stress. It will sabotage every other good thing that you do. So finding ways every day to nourish your nervous system. So that could look like just really working on, are you in burnout? Are you burning the candle at both ends? And how can you start to put some strategies in place to change that? And that might fit into other categories. Like maybe it means actually putting some boundaries around a community that doesn't serve you anymore. Maybe it means getting more sleep. Like maybe you're burnt out because you are not sleeping at all. But you need to really take a hard look at some of those things. So look at your chronic stress. Look at any burnout that might be in place. You need to look at your use of social media and doom scrolling and using screens late at night, which end up keeping you up and give you blue light, which you don't want an hour before you go to bed. Are you feeding yourself messages that aren't helping, that are leading to more stress and more burnout? What things can you put into place to help yourself? And do it today. So small strategies such as deep breathing throughout the day, doing self massage. There's a vagus massage strategy that we use sometimes that only takes 5 minutes that helps regulate your nervous system right away? Can you add anything else to your day, which might mean getting out into the sun? It might mean changing your schedule slightly. There's a lot of different pieces to nervous system nourishment, but it is absolutely vital. You will not, eventually, your body will stop. Will stop serving you if you continually put it in a place of chronic stress and burnout. So, for longevity, it is something that needs to be dealt with. And it is okay if you're dealing with it one small step at a time. And I will have a link to a podcast below also for nourishing your nervous system. So maybe today you just go on a podcast binge. Okay. You're going to listen to this. You're going to listen to making your own workout schedule. You are going to listen to find out some sleep strategies. And you're going to listen to find out how to nourish your nervous system. Go on a binge today, tomorrow. Put these things into place and into practice. And remember to continue to put attention on these pillars, then add the extra pieces on top of it after you have these habits built. And then you can decide if you enjoy those, if they work for you, if they don't. But without these pillars in place, the other things aren't going to matter. And I want you to be able to have true actionable steps that you can follow. And then remember, if you do want to follow along with us, if you want to put this into practice and see what it looks like in real life, you will have a checklist. You will have accountability. You'll be able to go day by day and say, did I do my workout today? Did I get my sleep today? We will have live sessions. I will give you daily workouts. Join us in Unlimited. We start May 4th for the longevity program. You can sign up below. Registration is open now. I would love to have you there. All right. Thanks for being here today, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much for listening today. I would love it if you could take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. It means a lot to us, and it helps our content get out to more women who need it. You can find more of my resources at my website, jessicavallant.com, or find me on YouTube at Jessica Vallant and Instagram at Jessica S. Vallant.